Fishy, fishy, fishy!
What's going on, fishy friends? I don't know if this translates on camera here, but it's interesting, the rainbow effect from those LED lights. Let's see. Where were we when we last updated? Let me try to turn the lights off in the room and see if that helps cut down on some of the glare. Nah, it really doesn't. So, last update, I believe we had talked about the ick outbreak I had in this tank. These rams had just spawned for me around Thanksgiving Day. Shortly thereafter, the eggs disappeared, and the female in this tank developed a pretty bad case of ick. I was able to combat the ick with a heat treatment, got the tank up to about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm back, bringing it back down to normal temperatures right now. It's at about 86, still got a few degrees to go and cool off still. So after the ick seemed to have been eradicated from the tank, the female seemed to develop some other issues. Honestly, it looked to me like she was suffering from what they call hole-in-the-head disease. That's something I've never heard of affecting rams specifically, something I typically see in the discus community. I believe it's usually a bacterial infection that literally causes those sensory pits on the fish's forehead, for lack of a better term. You can't even see them on this fish when they're not completely enlarged. But it causes those sensory pits to basically erode, and literally looks like a hole in the head. Unfortunately, the female passed away shortly thereafter that. I thought everything was okay. The male luckily didn't show any symptoms of anything, even though he was in the same tank as her. So everything looked good there. However, now today, a few days after that, I've noticed what looks like a case of velvet on that Harlequin rasbora right there. You can see he almost looks fuzzy. It's not ick. He didn't look like that yesterday. That seems to have developed essentially overnight. None of the other fish in here look sick, but at this point I don't think it's worth removing that single fish. Whatever is affecting that fish is already in this tank and can potentially be affecting all the other fish. So I don't know if I am doing something very wrong here, cross-contaminating tanks. I haven't seen anything else that looked like velvet on any other fish, so I don't know where the heck that could have come from. Nothing new in this tank for quite a long time, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. Let's see, what other catastrophes have we been dealing with in the fish room? My CO2 system. A while back, I had gone and built a new manifold so I could run CO2 to my various different tanks. Yesterday I got home and noticed my 20-pound CO2 tank was almost empty after only a little while. This is my little 5-pound tank. So I redid that manifold again and went back to a brass manifold. I finished building this yesterday. I had the CO2 off for today because I couldn't be home to monitor the fish. I tried to keep the needle valves exactly the way they were when I dismantled everything, but I can't really know that for sure. So I was keeping a real close eye on that, and now it's back on here. Hopefully this works better. I'm down to my supplemental backup 5-pound CO2 tank. Hopefully this manifold works better than the other one. I had used those push connect fittings. I'll see if I can post a picture of what I had there. And those push connect fittings, while they were nice in theory, they didn't form a perfect seal. They kind of leaked. So hopefully this setup works a little better. Other than that, everything else is moving along pretty nice in the fish room. Those Apistos I got over here are doing pretty well. Nothing ill to speak of in this tank, other than the glare that makes it hard to film. These 5 angelfish are doing quite well, getting quite big. My 10 new juvenile discus are all looking pretty good. There does seem to be a runt of the litter, so to say, in here. Hopefully this is not a fish that I'll have to cull. You can sort of see his shape's a little off, and his size is definitely off compared to these other guys. Not too concerned about the shape yet. They're still young enough where that's something they can almost grow out of as long as I keep up with my water changes and keep feeding the fish well. And that's about it for now, guys. I'll check in soon. Later.